Hello everybody and welcome back. In this video we are going to find the net force of an object, specifically on an incline. Let's begin by reading the problem. A book is on a table that is slanted at an angle of 35 degrees, and the book begins to slide. The normal force is 18 newtons, the force of gravity is 22 newtons, and the force of friction is 11 newtons. Find the net force of the book. Since the object is on an incline, we should probably draw one. The angle of the incline is 35 degrees, which would be labeled here. And the object slides down the incline. The problem provides us three forces that are acting on the object. The force of gravity acts downward on the object with a force of 22 newtons. Friction is parallel to the incline, and since the object is sliding down, friction would be up along the incline with a force of 11 newtons. Lastly, the normal force is perpendicular to the surface with a force of 18 newtons. To find the net force, the forces will have to be broken into x and y components. The force of friction is known, and the angle of the friction force is the same as the angle of the ramp. Its x force and y force can be found using cosine and sine respectively. This gives a horizontal friction force of 9.01 newtons left and vertical friction force of 6.31 newtons up. Remember, these values can be expressed with I hats and j hats as well. Next, let's break up the normal force. The normal force is pointing at an angle of 55 degrees in reference to the horizontal. That angle can be found using geometry and theory angles. Using cosine and sine, the x normal force and y normal force are 10.32 newtons right and 14.74 newtons up, respectively. After the forces have been broken into components, the net force can be found in the x and y direction. Starting with the x direction, there are only two x forces: the x component of the normal force and friction force. And since those two forces are opposite, we'll have to subtract to get the total. This gives a net x force of 1.31 newtons right. For the y net force, there are three forces: the y normal force, y friction force, and gravity. The y normal force and friction force are up, but gravity is downward. Calculating accordingly, this gives a y net force of 0.95 newtons down. Now both net forces in the x and y direction are known. To find the net force overall, we'll have to use the Pythagorean theorem. And this will give a net force of 1.62 newtons at 35 degrees below the horizontal. The angle does not need to be calculated, as we know the object has to slide along the incline. This concludes our example of net force on an incline. Hope you found it helpful, and thanks for watching.